Alright guys, I figured I'd do a quick video on this Flysky it4s transmitter and receiver with the telemetry, and so far this is what I've come up with. I just took a black Sharpie around the edge there to make sure that the contrast between the silver tape that they give you is really is there. You know, I just want to make sure that it gets the best possible reading, and they recommend that. I really had a tough time finding a spot for the optical speed sensor, and you know, I did, and so this is what I've come up with. I know it's not the best looking thing, it may only be temporary, but you'll notice the end of the optical sensor there. I was able to get a zip tie in there to at least give myself a little bit more security as far as that's concerned, and the tape is holding it exactly where I need it to be. It's not going anywhere, and of course this is something you're not going to be able to see anyway, so I can live with it. It's a matter of getting the adjustment inside the transmitter correct. It asks you for a measurement in inches, a length measurement in inches, and what it's trying to figure out is the distance that the tire is spinning around, you know, that the wheel's spinning around. And you would think it would just be as easy as circumference, and you know, it's not. There's actually a formula for it. I'm going to try to look it up and see if I can find it. It doesn't seem anybody had it in any of the videos I've watched. They basically just wung it and used a GPS on the, you know, they ran their rig with a GPS on it. So that's, you know, and then they adjusted from there to try to get it as accurate as possible. And I may end up doing that, I don't know, but so far so good. This is what I've come up with. There's the wiring. Of course it runs to, that is the optical speed sensor. Plenty of play. The steering allows me to move back and forth without any issue at all. No issues. Mounted to the lower portion of this side of the truck, and it comes right up through there behind the chase mud guard. I've got them zip tied so they're not rubbing and getting in the way of anything. And this here is the voltage sensor, of course, running back inside, and I have it tapped into the back. They give you 2 fingers with a little metal probe on each one. I tapped it right into the back of the Dean's plug, and so yeah, I'm getting a good reading on the receiver battery. This here is my lights. I was able, this all started because of a bad antenna wire. I could have just bought a new receiver for the Radio Link RC4G or whatever it's called that came with this, and I would have had a brand new antenna, boom bang bing. But no, I had to go and make it a big project because I saw the shiny touchscreen and it got my my attention, and then of course having telemetry I decided was something I absolutely needed. After all this work, I'm not sure I absolutely do, but it'll be cool. So yeah, got the lights running out there, which they were before. They came out in the same spot that the Killer RC cable came out, but I changed the location because of some of the rearrangement I had to do inside the box. I was able to get everything to fit. All that's in there is everything that was in there originally. None of these sensors, of course, go in there. So you got your optical speed, you got your voltage, and I put a little wire loom here to make that look a little better, and of course protect the wire. You have your temperature, which I ran up through here. I have zip ties pinching it in there really well. If you tug on it and pull on it, it is not coming out of there. And it's pressed up against the inner diameter or outer diameter of the head. And of course, again, I put a little bit of protective loom on there. Same thing with the speed sensor. Those wires are tucked neatly down into there and zip tied in a nice little bunch. Speed sensor is going to run back underneath here in front of the transmission. This is the RPM speed sensor. And over here, plenty of slack in there, but I pinched just enough of the wires so that it, this area wasn't, was the wire wasn't hanging in that area. And then, if you look closely, you'll see the, sorry about these camera angles, guys, I'm using my phone. The magnetic pulse sensor is wedged between that rear engine mount and the actual casing. And believe it or not, when the flywheel spins, everybody knows it has that magnetic strip. Well, it has two magnetic strips, about a 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch apart from each other. One of them is North Pole, one of them is South Pole. And this can pick it up because it's the closest point to the flywheel when it spins, this area here. It can actually pick it up through that casing. So that worked out pretty good for me. I thought I was going to have to drill holes, and no hole drilling. So that's it. I'll go ahead and do another video with all the telemetry working. But for now, that's what it looks like. I was able to, in my opinion, get it all wired up pretty clean, and neat, considering all the wires that I had to work with. So I'm really, I'm digging it. Oh, and the back of each sensor, of course, they're on there pretty good. They're on there real good, actually. Is just Scotch, 3M tape. So yeah, and this stuff it works really good. Oh, and if you're wondering what tools you need to do the job, yeah. So here we are, hours and hours later, after mock-up wiring, trying to get these things to work before I even hooked them up and understand them. I had the whole side of the engine casing off to potentially mount the magnetic sensor inside the fan cover somewhere so that it would touch be close to the the magnetic portion of the fan, but I realized that it actually it reads through the casing, so that worked out great. And yeah, so it's just a matter of getting the length in inches inside the transmitter adjusted properly, and that speed reading, miles per hour, should be right. And I think it'll be pretty cool. And of course, now the rig's ready to run again, now that I have a transmitter and a receiver that's working. So that's also a plus too. So thanks for watching, guys. If you're interested in hooking up a telemetry setup, all these sensors, they all piggyback off each other. They don't need to be looped back to the receiver, which is really nice. And the Flysky FS it4s comes with this Ibwasnt, which I think a lot of people are under the impression is used for the telemetry. I believe some of the videos I saw, unboxing videos, people talked about plugging the receiver into here and then each telemetry sensor into here and out, and that's not the case at all. This isn't even used at all. From what I gather, each one of these channels coincides with the K channels here, which are buttons, and it allows the channels to be split or something to that effect. I don't know. It seems to be used in models with more than 2 servos, multi-servo models, or drones and helicopters, things like that. I really don't know. You guys are probably like, this dude has no clue what he's talking about. But to be honest, almost all the unboxing videos I saw for this model, Flysky, everybody said, oh yeah, I think this, yeah, you just gotta plug your sensors into there. That's not the case. One sensor plugs into here, into the receiver, in the port labeled sense, and then the rest of them just piggyback. And of course, it's a matter of making sure that you got it mocked up right so that they're all gonna line up with where the sensor needs to connect, etc. And that's the best I can come up with. So thanks for watching. Hope this helps.